guess they heard we were coming. I don't know what's going on, but I found my buddy Mark Sparx again.
Mark Sparx in the house.
Dude, I'm so glad to see you because the last time we hung out, it was really positive. We were just talking about your awesome bike here. It's customized Sondors. And people were like, man, that guy's so friendly. Like, what an awesome guy. He's cruising around Brooklyn. You live here, right?
Yes, I do.
It's your area.
Flatbush Brooklyn.
And you came prepared. You got like rain pants, raincoat.
Got the overalls. I'm ready for it.
Tell me about these glasses.
Okay, these are designed to keep the dust out your eyes, keep the wind out your eyes, and it actually keeps the air out your eyes. $2.59 at any hardware store.
I love it. And the is that what these are? The kind of
$6 at a hardware store.
Nice.
Waterproof, and they grip. So when you're riding and let's say your grips get wet, these still stick.
And the helmet, I like that. I think that you had that before, right?
Yes.
This is fantastic. Well, look, you guys, sometimes I'm just cruising around. I have conversations with people at different shops. I'm actually here with Chris Nolte as well today.
Hey guys, Chris Nolte in the house.
That's right. And that's where we ran into each other again. I was going over for reviews, and tell me what you're up to today.
I was headed into work, and I had a blowout on one of my tires. I was about 5 blocks away. Called out of work, and my man Chris right here helped me out. I was able to change the inner tube and get the tire on correctly. Thank you, Fulton Bikes. They put it on incorrectly.
Oh,
and,
no.
Oh, yeah.
Burn.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, and now we're here.
So these tires back here, it's pretty fancy. I want to take a look at these things. These are the ground control, extra thick knobby tires, give you good traction.
Those are Trek tires. They go for $129.
Dang.
I would prefer ride with them off-road.
Okay, yeah.
So on the street, it's a little bit rough. And if you take a turn too fast, the bike might slip from under you because it doesn't have that type of traction that you need.
That's right. Is this the original front tire still?
That's the original.
Wow. What is this? The Chow Yang? Yeah, that's right. So this came with your Sondors bike. How long have you owned this for people who didn't see the last video?
Now for approximately 2.5 years now.
2.5 years. It's still holding up. Look, so we covered some of this in the first video. I'm going to link to that and like a little annotation up at the top. Nice. But let's pick up from last time. We talked about the bike. We talked about it's customized. You got some extra batteries. I love these switches. It's like a fighter pilot.
Look at that. Switches. A lot of guys who are technicians who work on bikes have been wanting to figure out how to connect 2 batteries and control them individually.
Yeah.
Well, I went on YouTube and found out how to connect them. I got a 36 hook connected to this one. As you can see, the psychoanalyst goes.
It's like,
well, it's 39.7 because I've been riding it. Turn that off, and then I turn on the 48. And believe it or not, a lot of people say you can't ride with both of them. I do it all the time. Don't believe the hype. And believe it or not, when one battery goes dead, like let's say the 36 goes dead, you can literally take the 48, turn it on, and it'll boost the 36. Not for a long, lengthy time, but long enough for you to maybe make it a mile or 2. I've done it.
So you have them hooked up like in series or parallel? Do you know?
Parallel.
Parallel. Okay.
Parallel.
Maybe you can tell me about some of that. You got the speaker up here. Is waterproof, right?
Waterproof,
yes. Good. Thank goodness.
Yes.
Awesome light. You were saying this thing's super bright.
Yes.
And at first I thought this was 2 lights, like crisscross, and you said, no, that's a handlebar extender, so you can mount, because your cockpit is like...
ran out of space.
Ran out of space.
And actually I had to take things off. I couldn't tell you what, but I had other things on here, and then I found this. I have so many accessories for the bike. I just feel uncomfortable feeling like I'm riding the same bike every day.
Does this display still do anything, or are you purely on psychoanalyst now?
If I was to plug it up, this is a 36 volt controller.
Yeah.
This one is for the 48. But the way I have the wires running, because of these on and off switches, you can actually run either one. But I have to connect the batteries up to this controller, the 36 volt controller.
Okay, so look, a lot of technical stuff here. Sounds like on the last video you checked in on the comments. So, you know, if people had a question, you might read it and be able to help them out a little bit. Okay.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Feel free to link to some of the other videos that you've seen and stuff.
Definitely.
So you've had this Sondors for a while, still holding up. You've got some new like designs going on. Can you tell me about this? You got like Humanity, Technology?
Well, this is, I don't know if it makes any sense, but I came up with the name Mark Sparx Solutions.
Yeah.
And then I came up with Mark Sparx Solutions and Technologies.
Yeah.
So then I met a friend who came up with something called Humanity. So then this is the slogan: humanity marks the sparks in technology and solutions. I don't even know if it makes sense.
What do you do? What are your solutions?
The solutions is, let's just say, if you from anything from a flat, to recommending a battery, recommending the right handlebars to get in between them tight spots when you're going between cars and buses. I wouldn't suggest doing it, but you know how bikers are.
That's right.
You know, if you just wanna, if you want cutoff switches, those are the type of solutions
you can help people. Do you have a website, or what? I mean, will you link to it or something?
I haven't come up with a website yet.
Still working on it.
But
okay.
I ride 17 miles every day, and every day I meet somebody who's interested in my support.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, because it's real world. I mean, that's the thing with Chris. Like, you've seen Mark, and it sounds like you've helped him out a couple times with some of these custom solutions. A lot of just innovative, creative ideas going on here, Mark. So, politeness, I think, is key. We were having a conversation earlier. You told me something happened over the past year. We haven't hung out. Let's catch us up.
I was riding on the Green Path. In New York City. That's on the West End Highway. I was getting ready to get on it. I was trying to catch a light. I caught the light. There were 3 guys standing. They asked me to pull over. They identified themselves. One of them pulled out his badge.
Oh, wow.
He happened to work for the police, the Parks Department. I said, well, I've been on this for 2 years. Why are you pulling me over? He said, well, this morning they implementing us getting stiff, getting hard on guys who ride electric bikes. I said, but I was pedaling. He said, but do you have a motor on it? I said, well, it does have a motor, but I wasn't using it at the moment. He said, so you know we're going to take the bike away from you. I said, do what you have to do, because I'm trying to get to work. You know, some of us got things to do during the day.
Sure.
So my man calls his superior. His superior comes and says, you can't take his bike. Well, he's like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean I can't take his bike? He has a motor on it. He says, but he has pedals on it. Let me tell you the deal. I wasn't going to court and fight the ticket. It was a $50 ticket. They didn't take the bike. I went to the courthouse. I was going to pay it, but then I decided to fight it. I was speaking to a judge, and she said, well, you have pedals on it. She looks it up on the computer, and it says state law, federal law says that it's legal to pedal a bike with assistance. It's evident that the assistance comes from you having a motor and battery. But you have to pedal. If you don't pedal, there's a possibility your bike will wind up in the back of the trunk of a car.
Okay.
I'm always pedaling, no matter.
So come over here with me. Let's take a look at this. So we're looking at your bike.
Right.
Now, you know, a lot of it's covered up because of that awesome, like, graphics, I guess, your sign. But there's the little motor back there, and you got these 2 batteries, and clearly, you know, there's something going on here.
Right.
So you're saying, and we're New York City, where you hear all this crackdown stuff, but you just sounds like you were kind of polite with these guys, and
you have to be polite. Don't catch an attitude when you know there's a possibility maybe you didn't acknowledge doing something wrong.
We're good.
But you may have. You may have made an incorrect U-turn. You may have done something 2 blocks before that the police were following you. They're not trying to take your bike, but just show them a little bit, just a little bit of respect. Just say, I apologize, sir. I didn't know the light was red. I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to U-turn there. I didn't know that I couldn't park. I mean, be in between the park, you know, where people cross the street. You know, just show them that you acknowledge your mistake.
Right.
99% of the time, they're just going to give you a warning and let you go. Don't get hostile. Don't think that the police are against us, that they're trying to just take all our bikes. They don't have time to be dealing with this. They have other things to do.
Right.
And believe me, I've experienced it over and over again. I average 17 miles a day from Brooklyn to Manhattan every day for 2 years.
Wow.
I've been pulled over. I've only gotten a ticket one time. I fought it and I won it. Okay, so just bring your attitudes down.
Okay.
Stop thinking that everybody's out to take your bikes.
And you're not riding on the sidewalk.
I don't do that.
You're not going super fast.
No.
That sounds like the one time you were close to running a red light, and that's why you got pulled over, because they were like, they don't want you to get hit by a car.
That's right.
And get hurt. That was the big thing. Okay.
Wear your helmet is for your protection.
Yeah.
A lot of times when the police department pulls us over, it's for our protection, but you don't acknowledge that because you don't give them the opportunity to speak. You're so quick to jump at them.
Yeah.
But just bring it down a little bit and hear what they have to say and be very apologetic and acknowledge, I just didn't know, officer.
Yeah.
Can I get a warning this time? Believe me, most police are human.
Yeah.
A lot of them might admire e-bikes, believe me. they might be interested in getting one. They don't want all the bikes to be taken off the street.
Yeah.
You know, they're just trying to, they're trying to enforce to protect us, believe it or not. When I go through a red light, that could have been me laid out. I have friends that work for EMS.
Yeah.
You don't want to see what happens when a person gets hit by a car, even at 15 miles per hour.
Yeah.
It's not a sight to see.
Well, and at the same time, like, you might think, oh, car's safe, and you know, but then you're dealing with those higher costs, and there's not a lot of room around here, parking and congestion. So this is a neat solution. I'm glad they've been treating you well. I'm glad you're treating them well.
Definitely.
And so thanks for sharing that story, Mark. You know, it's neat to catch up. I'm glad you got to keep your bike. It's still rolling. What other updates you have over the past, 6 months or whatever since we hung out?
No other updates, but I will tell you, every couple of months I change the way I cut the fabric on the bike. So like today you see the chain, tomorrow you might not.
Oh, okay.
I'm still in the garment district buying my fabrics, $24 a sheet.
Nice.
That takes 2 yards. I cut it myself. I'm not sewing, but I do cut it myself neat enough that it looks professional. And another thing, shout out to the NYPD. I appreciate what you're doing.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, good for you. It's some of the other things that we were looking at earlier, besides those sweet like cockpit like switches, you got a new chain ring.
Yes.
I love your red pedals. You might have had those.
No, I didn't.
Are those new?
Yeah, those are new.
Yeah, they got the pins and everything so you don't slip off.
Yeah.
In the rain. And then up here you've still got this really awesome rack I just love it. You've really been able to adapt this thing. The rear rack, you got panniers going on, waterproof bags. Are those like Ortliebs on top?
I really don't know the name of those
Here,
bags.
let me come look at these things.
Awesome.
Oh, this is Toe Peak.
Yeah.
What do you carry? And what the kind of work that you're doing, is this work supplies?
No, these are my charges in here. One is for the 36 volt battery, one is for the 48 volt battery. This is my 36 and this is my 48. Huh. So this is just to be able to make it back home without being worried about the battery going dead. With all the weight.
Yeah.
I weigh, like I said in the last video, 240 pounds. This bike weighs about 70 to 80 pounds right now.
Right.
I have not had a problem with the motor. In the last video, I mentioned that the motor was making a noise.
Yeah.
That's because of the weight that's on the back wheel.
Oh.
Every so often, your bike has to get a tune-up. It took me 2.5 years to tune up a Sondors. And if it takes you 2.5 years to tune up a bike after averaging 900 miles a month,
wow,
you're doing pretty good.
You're doing great. But I mean, you get your hands dirty. Just a minute ago, your bike's flipped upside down. We're working on the street. You get your hands dirty, man.
You have to get your hands dirty.
Yeah.
When you own a bike, you have to.
That's
you can't
true.
be afraid of the chain, the oil, whatever elements you're dealing with on the street. I caught a little flat. I just got my tire changed. I have a Trek. It's what is it? 26 4.6 tire. The treads are great.
Fat, yeah.
But I can tell you, it looks cool, but for the street, I don't really recommend it. Yeah. They have to have better all-terrain tires because I've only had it for a couple of days. But when I'm taking a turn and the street is wet, I just don't feel comfortable because the bike, you can feel it in the back just a little bit as if it's going to slide from under you.
Well, and a minute ago, it is a heavier bike, so we were out there in the street and we were getting ready to turn in. I think we paused and you kind of had a tumble for a minute. You let the bike down. The bike's solid.
I don't even know what that came from, but I will tell you one thing. When you have batteries on the back of the bike, it takes a little bit more balance to control it. Yeah. The center is definitely where you want it. Sondors has that, but unfortunately my batteries at this moment are too big to go inside of the casing that they built for it.
That's right.
But as technology goes along, they're creating more and more powerful battery packs to go inside of your compartment.
The triangle area.
That's right. Now let me tell you, when I discuss more power about a battery, watts and volts, it's not about speed. It's about when you're going up that hill and you just don't have the strength. I'm going on 50 years old. I don't have the strength. I'm not 19 years old no more. Yeah. So understand, sometimes guys will put a little bit more power into their bikes. It's not to show off. It's just you're trying to get up that hill without having a heart attack, going in a cardiac arrest.
Well, that's great. This is keeping you healthy and active.
And it's keeping you healthy and active.
And happy.
Going downhill, cut your motor off and let it just cruise. Yeah. And stay on your brakes. Stop just holding the handle. Stay on your brakes because you never know what the next person's going to do.
That's true. If someone comes out with a bike that's a little heavier, you need to, it's a safety thing again.
I crossed the Manhattan Bridge. I see blood stains all the time.
Are you serious?
And that's for real.
Oh, man.
Somebody's coming down, they're flying, somebody's going up, and they collide. And if I'm doing 15 miles per hour, 2 15s equals 30. The impact is dramatic.
Yeah.
Teeth get cracked. Your nose is bleeding. It's not good. You don't want to go through that. I see it.
Ouch.
It's real life.
Well, every day, man, you're out there.
That's right.
So what other things have you actually had to replace since you got the bike? Just a list, quick list. What do you replace? Chain?
I'm gonna tell you, I haven't had to replace anything with the Sondors.
Wow.
The only thing I do is upgrade.
That's fantastic.
Because I see other guys doing it on the internet, and I just want to keep up.
I like it. And where do you get some of these parts? Just some of the shops are helping you?
Top of my list is Propel. Even this morning, when I caught the flat, Chris, the owner of the shop, actually came out and assisted me. This man has better things to do than to be assisting me with the tires. So that's to show you he's serious.
That's nice.
He's serious. He's not just all about, well, that's too small for me.
Sure.
You know, his technicians, they're great guys. They're very polite. They treat you good. If you have a question, just ask. You know, and same thing with Green Path. You know, I was dealing with Green Path, same thing.
Did they move? Are they at the same location over there?
Green Path moved from where we were at.
Yeah.
I think they're on 24th Street and 4th Avenue, something like that.
Because he had another business, like a print shop there too.
Right.
Whatever. The other thing, while we're on the topic of safety, I love that you got this extra long fender thing here, and then 4 lights. Like, tell me about that.
Let me tell you. This is another thing in reference to safety. You never have enough lights on your bike. When it comes to going to court, one of the first things they're gonna ask you, if you were hit from the back at night, were your lights adequate? I decided to come as close as a motorcycle or the back of a car light.
Huh.
I can light these up in 6 different ways, have each one of them, like it'll be like a discotheque, like you in a club and the lights are blinking and they're dancing. I don't have a problem with people hitting me in the back because they see me.
Yeah.
Plus, as you notice, my jacket,
these
when the lights hit it, you can see it.
Look at that. That's great.
You need that.
I like that.
On my bike, I have them here. I have them here. It's all about safety.
The reflectors. Can we look at the front, that light again? Can you turn that on? Does that activate?
If we can see it.
Oh yeah, that's a bright one.
It has 3 settings. If I'm correct, this is 250 lumers.
Wow.
It can see at least 3 blocks. It's blinding. Now check this out. A lot of people aren't familiar with this bracket. I created this so I can have it when I'm behind a car and they're not moving.
Yeah.
I lift this up and put it in the back so they can see it through their window shield, and I ring the bell.
Oh man, that's super
They
loud.
move, and then I put it back down because it's offensive when you're going down the street and this light is on, because it's really bright.
That's
for
true.
people.
That's thoughtful. Yeah.
But it allows for you to see the potholes in the street.
That is, my uncle had a crash because it was wet and you couldn't see the pothole. Like it just looked smooth, but there was actually a hole, and he fell off his bike. Have you had anything like that? You've been okay? The bigger tires probably help.
Because of these tires, and that's why I recommend fat tires, they roll over potholes. That is one problem I haven't had.
Okay.
But the biggest problem I've had with the bike was spokes cracking. That's because of my weight. Believe me.
Sure.
Believe me. But I'm getting ready to get to your size and Chris' size in a couple of years.
Yeah,
and then
I'll
I don't
stop
have to
back.
worry
We'll
about
say
my
hey.
spokes cracking. That's right.
That's fantastic. Well, do you want to hop on this? We can take off. I know you got somewhere to
Sure,
be, and we got the rain coming in.
Come on, let's do it.
So sweet. One more quick look, a little walk around. Got the disc brakes down there, kickstands holding up. This is sweet, Mark.
Thank you.
Let's do it. Here we go. Oh. This is one of the bikes that Chris sells here. It's called the Load. Full suspension. Sweet. Super bright. Like I like the yellows and the visibility. Take your time and I'll just follow you. Nice. Doing pretty well. Lead on. Fantastic, man. Well, thank you again. It's so fun to catch up. Here, I'll give you a little. Anything else you want to share before we go?
That's it.
Okay, we're good. Take care, man. Ride safe.
Take care, Chris. Take care, man. Thanks for your help.